All right, hello everybody. Welcome back. This is a little special edition of the Wireheads podcast to make up for the fact that we were not there live this last week. As always, this is a Cyberpunk Red podcast. We talk about cyberpunk things here and those adjacent to the tabletop RPG. As always, my name is Emmerron, one of the two people crazy enough to keep throwing the show every week. And joining me, as always, is my co-host.
Hello, everybody. I'm Diamond Dust. And this is the first 0.5 episode I think we've done in a hot minute, actually.
It's been a while since we've done one of these special 0.5 episodes. So, as you can see, we are not alone this week. We have two guests from Night Crew Games, the company behind the upcoming Cyberpunk Legends card game. We have James Portnow and Cal Wendlandt. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us. This is fantastic. I'm excited to talk Cyberpunk with you folks.
No, yeah, we're excited too. I know, James, you and I happened to run into each other at Gamma, and we talked very briefly Gen Con last year because of us demoing stuff in pretty much the same space. So it's good to finally be able to get to sit down and like properly talk to you about the game, because I know when I first heard about Cyberpunk Legends, I was really excited, mostly because there were plenty of times in my history with TCGs, which I know Cyberpunk Legends is not, but there's plenty of times growing up and playing TCGs of varying kinds, you heard about like, well, yeah, Cyberpunk had a TCG, Netrunner, and I was like, oh, hacker games are like my favorite. And then I found out Netrunner was out of sale, then it was back, then it was gone again. And yeah,
sure. That wasn't the only Cyberpunk TCG. There was a very ill-fated 2020 TCG.
Oh,
now
never heard of this one. Now
that one. Oh, okay.
We need to go find the deep lore.
Now, please give us deep lore on that. Actually,
I mean, if you folks are at like Gen Con or whatever this year, maybe, I don't know if I can steal the time, but we might be able to do like a live cast or something. I have some of the remaining extant 30-year-old cards sealed. We could like draft away some of the last remaining, 2020 cards.
You're speaking my language, James. I would be so excited to do that, actually. That's so cool. Especially now, obviously very separate from your own project, but the Cyberpunk TCG is also under Kickstarter right now, and like Legends, I've also backed that. So right now I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a very Cyberpunk card themed Gen Con for me.
There is so much cardboard crack. So much of it.
Yeah, it's very, very true. So, James, Cal, just for our audience so that they understand exactly who it is we're talking with this in this episode here. Who are you, and what is kind of your position within Night Crew Games, the company that's making Cyberpunk Legends?
I guess I'll kick it off. So my name is James Portnow. I've been a designer for 20 some odd years, most in the video game space. I've worked on things like the Call of Duty series and League of Legends and Farmville. And my first love was always card games. I actually started my whole trip in this industry in card games back in the day when every block had somebody making a card game in Seattle back in the like heyday of that stuff before the first crash. And basically over COVID, I was building a game to play with my friends because I wanted some campaign games, some co-op game, something that felt like an RPG, but that didn't take an hour to set up or require that you read 3 books to jump on in because I couldn't get my friends to do it. And then afterwards, I was playing with Mike and just showed him the game, and he was like, "We got to do this with Cyberpunk." And so at that point, it was like, time to get a company together. I guess this is becoming a real thing. And so here we are.
That's crazy. So, and then before, because I've got questions about that. But Cal, what do you do within Night Crew, and kind of what have you done before? I suppose.
Yeah, right now I work as a design contractor in Night Crew. I was hired on by James with a few friends to not only learn how to design games, but also just general design at all. And before this, I actually just was working as a culinary, just a cook. But design has always been something I've been very passionate about, and I'm very happy to be working at Night Crew.
That's awesome.
So we ran into Keanu's crew over at Gen Con, and they were one of the few people to, well, frankly, they came back time and again being like, hey, I know you let us play the demo, but I see there's more to the deck. Can we play the rest of the thing? And at the very end of Gen Con, we're like, sure, we got some time. We'll let you play the rest. And they one-shotted the boss. They were phenomenal. But, like, there was both a very clear passion and understanding for the game. And one of the things that I've always sort of fought for is trying to bring new people into the industry, because basically when I got in, I don't know if I could get in today, right? Like, it was a little bit tough when I got in. I sent out 112 resumes and got 10 yeses, but I still got them, right? Like, I could just come out of school and work on some of the biggest games in the world in a way that's much harder to do today. And so one of the things I'd like to do with Night Crow, who knows if it'll be financially viable, but like, is to bring some new people in. So we've been trying to do that both with designers and artists and like whatever roles we can. Now, granted, we've got a long probationary period as a contractor because there's just not a lot of money in board games, and I got to make sure that the people are the right people. But it's something that I want to try and do with this company.
Sure. No, I mean, makes sense. I know Diamond and I both are kind of like freelancers in the GM space, so definitely not at all strangers to what you're talking about there. Like, the industry is not an easy one, whether we're talking board games, RPGs, any of it. I mean, the gaming industry in general is it's a bit of a hard nut to crack and get your name made in. So now curious for both of you, what was it that brought you into game design originally? Like, what caught you into wanting to do this as a job, as a career?
I mean, I sidetracked Cal's entire life, so
Actually, I have been like, I made a note sheet of a game that I was working on a while ago, and even when I was in like 5th grade, I had ideas for games and tried to learn to code and couldn't get into it because I can't focus for 2 seconds. And then I settled on cooking because I thought it had art for it while also being able to provide food for people that people might enjoy. And then James came along and got me back into game design and all of this, and I genuinely couldn't be happier. I'm so happy I'm back into something I'm really passionate about.
And I'm very excited to see what Cal and the rest of the new crew do over the next couple of years. Like, we can't even talk about some of the stuff now, but like, I'm excited for it. Okay. On my side, I mean, honestly, it was to pay for a rehearsal space for my band. When I first started, when I was working on CCGs in Seattle, that's what happened. And long story short, my bandmates went on to do the Leno Letterman World Tour sort of thing, and I did not. And I need to figure out, I asked myself, like, what else had I done for 10,000 hours in my life? And, the answer was obviously video games. I had actually, weirdly, I was on track to become a lawyer. and to go to law school, and then I was playing. God, we were playing Catan. It was that era. I was playing Catan in a basement of my buddy's basement, and we were talking, and he was like, "Oh, you know, the school that I went to, they have a master's program teaching game design," and I decided that, you know what, I would much rather and probably be better at doing that than being a lawyer. So I checked it out, and it was past the deadline for submissions. So I sent them a box with everything I'd done, like the CCGs I'd worked on. I just created a manual for a game that didn't exist, right? And sent them that. I sent them like the CDs and music I had done. And I sent them my LSAT scores, which wasn't the test they want you to take, right? Like I couldn't even get time to do the tests that you needed to take to get in. And I was like, if they accept me, despite the fact that I'm sending them none of the actual entrance requirements listed on their like site, I will accept that as fate and go. And they did. And I did.
Wow. That's
Oh my goodness.
crazy. That's crazy. Okay. So I've got one more here, and then I think Diamond we'll start to talk a little bit about Legends specifically.
Okay.
But I'm so for you, James, and Cal, I know you've, like James said, like you kind of been sidetracked. You managed to side quest your way into the industry, as one of my friends would put it. But what drew both of you into the Cyberpunk universe and game kind of space specifically? Like what about Cyberpunk, whether that's lower C as a genre or like upper C as a property, really called to you and brought you into this as the thing to design for as a game?
Well, I mean, for me, Burning Chrome is probably one of my favorite collections of stories out there, period, right? Gibson, Stevenson were sort of an awakening for me in sci-fi. And so this genre has always been very close to my heart, right? Like, I even love stuff like Stand on Zanzibar and stuff like that, right? And so the game I was making was sort of already, I was thinking about this space, was kind of planning to be in the lower C cyberpunk world. And of course, I've known Mike for a long time, and I've always loved capital C cyberpunk. And so when he was like, let's just do it, that was a no-brainer for me. I was like, yes, perfect, right? We can, all the theming I had already put, we can shift over with no problem, and it's just gonna get better by being in the actual real cyberpunk universe.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, and it's one of those things like when Mike Pondsmith calls, you come running kind of thing. In a lot of cases when it's like, oh, you got a great idea. I'm like, I do? Like, whenever that's the conversation, it's a good one. But yeah, Cal, what drew you into Cyberpunk specifically?
Well, to be honest, when we saw the booth at Gen Con, we were like, oh, is CD Projekt Red making a card game? That's pretty cool. And then we looked deeper into it, and then we played the demo at Gen Con, and we were like, oh, this is way different. And that same day, Matthew, who is one of the people in New Crew, my friend, bought 3 books, went literally negative in his bank account to buy 3 books of Cyberpunk Red to learn how to play it, so that he could campaign a game. Because recently we just finished my D&D campaign that I was running. So he was like, "This is awesome! Cyberpunk Red is a really cool thing." And then we wanted to play more of James's game, and we wanted to play Cyberpunk Red. So kind of James got us really into it, but also Giovanni, another friend of mine who was in it, Matthew and I all really liked Cyberpunk, Like, we played the game a hell of a lot, even when it launched into very poor state.
Oh, I still had fun with
We
it in
loved
that
it.
state, so I will never judge anyone
Oh
for being
my-
like,
I
I had a
laughed at
blast
some of
with
the
that.
stuff.
I'm like, me too. Like,
I have so many clips of like a van stuck in a meat shop, like glitching out. It was so much fun. But even then, just like the concept of the world and all of that was really cool and fascinating. And then we got introduced to the actual like lore of it beyond 2077, and it's really cool. It's really awesome.
yeah. Well, no, and I know
That's-
like
that's mean.
Diamond and I, like, we love teaching new people the game. So I'm glad that through the winding media landscape that has become Cyberpunk today, it found you there, because that's wild. I think you're one of the first people I've talked to like in industry that found it kind of that way. So that's really, really cool to see. But yeah, I know Diamond just had a question for a minute, and I just keep like, I want to ask more.
I first off, welcome on over to Cyberpunk. I'm glad you made it out. So, by the way, I guess I gotta ask, what's your favorite role? I like to ask this one. What's your favorite role?
In Legends or
Red.
in Red?
Red.
I forget the name of it, but you're like a video photographer. You're like
Media.
a vlogger.
Media.
Media? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one I was playing when we started, and then we started working for James, and then we stopped. But we still looked into Red in a little bit, but Matthew was like, oh, let's start a Red campaign, and then we got hired, and we're like, let's just work on Legends.
There's a lot of good stuff in Red. And I guess, James, did you play the TTRPG?
Oh yes.
What's your
I
favorite
have played
role?
it since. I have played it since before. We had pictures of dolls in the books.
Oh my.
Oh, so 2020?
So yeah, I mean, I've played it since 2020. Since like the. God, was it? I think it might have actually been the first edition.
Oh, Black Box?
My brothers, who are substantially older than me, had it, and when they left the house, they left all their old Cyberpunk stuff behind, and of course, nearly adolescent me is like, oh my god, this is so awesome, and so I poured over those books. But my favorite role. I am the cliche. It is Rocker.
Yeah, fair.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with Rocker.
No, yeah.
I like Rocker.
Because I think we said before we started recording, but Diamond and I both very much gravitate toward Netrunner. So like, yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah, very much.
Well, I can-
Runner and Fixer.
Diamond, by your setup, I had kind of guessed that was probably the case.
Yeah,
How did you two?
huh?
How did you two get first involved with Cyberpunk?
Oh, goodness.
Boy.
So-
no, yeah,
We're
go
not
ahead.
fair play
Go
here.
no, fair play. No, absolutely.
Oh.
Diamond, you go first. I'm
Okay,
happy to let you
So
have that
it
one.
was the year. It was late 2020. All right. So, here I am working 12-hour nights. I didn't exist to anybody except my Discord friends, and I had a friend of mine from the Philippines who was just like, "Hey, Diamond, have you heard? Do you want to play some Cyberpunk Red?" And I'm like, "What?" It's like, "Have you heard of Cyberpunk 2077?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So I get a quick crash course on what Cyberpunk Red is, and I'm just like, okay, all right. It's like, yeah, so we need a med tech, and I'm like, all right, I'll play med tech, and yeah, I learned to play from a group of my Philippine friends, and since then I kind of got hooked. Brought the game to my Pathfinder group after we ended up wrapping up our campaign, and that's kind of how I developed Diamond. She
Nice.
was my first Netrunner, and kind of became my presence on the net.
Yeah, and for me, so it was about a month before the lockdowns in 2020 that I'd gone over to visit my brother and my parents because he still was living with them at the time. And I don't remember what brought me over there, but he had just played his first ever session of Cyberpunk Red before the full rules came out. It was the Jumpstart kit. And neither one of us had known anything about it before this. And so he, like, I'd heard of Netrunner, but I hadn't made that connection yet. I just thought, oh, hacking card game, very cool. I like that idea. Because I've always liked the cyberpunk genre more broadly. But so my brother tells me about this campaign that they've just started, right? They're like, oh yeah, we had this apartment building where we like had all of our neighbors there like fighting against this corporation with us, and this one guy betrayed us. So now like we're going out and we're gonna be on a run to go get some cargo from this train. But our game master, a friend of ours named Evan, had said like, oh yeah, I don't know how you guys are gonna do without a hacker. And I'm like, you said hacker? Really? Yeah. Oh, please tell me more. And so then Jake says, oh yeah, he said something about a class called Netrunner. And that's when it clicked. And I'm like, okay, we're going to make me a character tonight because I want in on this like right now. And so it was like literally lockdown hits a month later. We have our first session maybe a week or two after, all over Roll20. And that hooked me like full on hook, line, sinker. It's like 6 months later, I started running games for a few of my other friends, my wife, and then like it was a couple years later I started streaming it, and now it's kind of my full-time thing. So like, yeah, I was found, the tabletop found me, and then I got into the video game because I not really paid any attention. I'd heard it mentioned once or twice. I was like, I don't know anything about that. And then I got really excited about it. And then played the buggy mess that it was like Cal did when it first came out. And I was like, oh, wow. Yes. Is it a mess? Kind of. But God, it's a beautiful one. I love this beautiful mess of a game. Yeah.
I'm glad to see we all became nerds over COVID.
Yes. Oh, I was already
I became a girl over COVID. So, I mean, we had all sorts of things going on.
I mean, yeah. You have to do something, right?
I know.
But that, as you were saying, like Forlorn Hope is such a good intro to both Night City and Cyberpunk.
Oh yes.
One of the things I love from it from a design perspective is that, you know, it avoids the perennial D&D problem of why is this party together, right? D&D, you meet in a tavern or whatever. But because you're all like living in the same apartment, you know, like it sets up, okay, this is natural that we're all like in this together, and there's something that's important to all of us that will draw us into doing this like high stakes stuff.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's always personal, and I think that that's always been one of like my favorite things about the genre is how you never feel like, what does that have to do with me? If everything is moving like it should, you're always going to know exactly what it means for you and why you care and why you're doing what you're doing. So no, that's why Cyberpunk kind of is always going to have me, I think, is just because it's like, it's hard to walk away from stories when they are told through that lens, you know?
Yeah.
So
time to get to the meat and potatoes of this.
Yeah, go ahead, Diamond.
So to understand, I didn't get the opportunity to really interact with Night City Legends or Cyberpunk Legends. I'm sorry. I'm used to hearing the phrase Night City Cyberpunk Legends. I'm working on it here.
Proper nouns are arbitrary.
So I guess to explain, especially to me and like to my audience, what style of card game is Cyberpunk Legends, and was it inspired by any other games you've played before?
Oh man, I'm not gonna go reach for the more card games that are literally sitting right next to me. But you can think of it like Arkham Horror, like the Arkham Horror card game, or some of those things where it is a campaign co-op game. It has all the persistence of a campaign game. We're planning to support it into the indefinite future, right? We're going to put out a new scenario every couple of months, a new campaign every year. So you've got your character, and that's going to be persistent. And you can level up and grow, just like an RPG. The thing it's not is a TCG. If you buy the core box, you'll get everything you need to play. And then if you want new adventures, well, you can buy new adventures as sort of individual packs to play through a new like storyline or piece of a campaign. If you are at all familiar with Fantasy Flight Games' model for their living card games, it is similar to that, where there's gonna be some bells and whistles that you can buy if you want new character packs, and that sort of thing. But it's really just focused on delivering a narrative in sort of a fast-paced way that's easy to pick up for everybody. It's intended to be an entry point into Cyberpunk, and if you have people who may not be willing to read through all the rule books, or if you have people who may not think they're interested in these type of games, we've tried to put something in there for everybody. It's not just combat focused. There's plenty of puzzles and story and moments for people who are interested in other things to shine in, right? So I know that's a very loose definition, but I'll let you guys follow up and ask if you want to investigate more, because I know that was just a broad everything.
I saw mentions of poker being mentioned in here. What's the mechanic with poker in this case?
Okay, so hopefully we'll get a chance to crack this out and show you guys in a little bit, but this is a great question. One of the things I struggled with when I was initially designing this was sort of how you overcome obstacles in this. Fundamentally, the combat system, for lack of a better term. And the reason I struggled with it was originally I had something sort of more math heavy, more Magic Gathering-esque, and it was both a little cumbersome in terms of rules learning, and it didn't feel exactly like the fast-paced, high-stakes sort of combat that happens in Cyberpunk. And so I went back to the drawing board and asked myself, okay, what does that feel like? And I had this moment of realization that, Cyberpunk is about betting the one chip you have, your life, on becoming a legend, right? And so then I started looking at poker, and we've got some wacky poker mechanics. It's basically a cooperative poker hand where everybody's going to put one card into the poker hand, and there's a bunch of rules about communication and table talk. So, you kind of have to talk around and hint out what you're going to do, and hopefully in the end, a plan comes together, and you can make stuff happen, because that's very Cyberpunk. And so, yeah, that's the genesis of the poker system, is sort of how it works.
Okay.
And the cards are much more Balatro-esque, or rather, there can be a lot of numbers, a lot of ranks, a lot of suits on these cards. You can make a straight in, 2 or 3 cards, or a flush in 2 or 3 cards. And all the obstacles basically have a 2-hit requirement, which is make a certain poker hand. And then if you hit, the cards will have their own effects on them. So in that case, they're more like magic cards or cards from other card games you'd recognize, where they tell you how much damage they're going to do, or any special things that happen when they're played. And if you hit, you add up all the damage you're doing, and then you apply the damage. But of course, if you don't make that poker hand, you're not hitting, you're not doing anything.
Mm-hmm. I like that, because I came over from Magic the Gathering, and like I put that behind me just because like the mechanics got heavier and heavier every year, and it's just like, I can't keep doing this, guys. I need something a little more snappy.
I see Cal reacting to that, which is like, what?
Cal, you too?
I hear a story there in the way he reacted to that.
My brother is very into Magic, and he when he was a kid, like when him and I were growing up, he spent, like, my mom was willing to spend like thousands of dollars on Magic. We're not very, we don't have a ton of money, but my mom was like, okay, this is something you're passionate about, I'm down to put money in. And oh my god, Hayden just kept doing it, and he is super into Magic, and every time we play, he's like, "Oh, I got a deck for you. Let's hit it like this." I'm like, "What is going on?" And then he kicks he kicks my head.
Yeah.
So it's funny. I actually sold my collection to go to college because growing up in Seattle, I started in Alpha, right?
Sure.
And granted, that collection would be worth like $500,000 or whatever today, but I was very happy to get the first couple of years of college out of it when I went.
Oh yeah.
But I am still Magic is still one of my first game loves. I will say, I don't know if any of you remember, but way back in the early days, they had quotes from famous books on Magic cards, and
What year is the early days? By chance?
93, 94.
I wasn't around,
but I've seen cards from that time because I was
I'm from 99,
and I'm 92. So like,
fair.
I was still
I couldn't
crawling.
tell.
Yeah, I was still crawling around in diapers, but I have seen cards from that era and seen some of those where quotes came up. So
I didn't even exist yet.
I've worked security protecting those cards for trade shows. Like looking at these pieces of cardboard, just being like, does it really cost that much?
We had a night night where Diamond I'm gonna tell this story, Diamond. So
for your perspective.
Diamond and I were on with a few of our other friends on Discord one night, and it was right before she was about to work this job, and she's like, I just don't know why they're hiring us because it's just cardboard, right? And I'm like, Diamond, have you ever looked up what the price for some of these things are? And she's like, well, no, but like, how much can cardboard cost? And I'm like, oh, okay, so we're going to go through and I'm going to show you just what my collection of Vanguard cards is worth, and that is nothing on Magic the Gathering.
It wasn't me. It was one of the older guys that I was working with that was just like, well, how much does it really cost? And I'm just like, I don't know, but I might know someone that does. That's why I passed it to you guys. Yeah,
and then it was me and our my friend Ghost, who plays in the stream game I do of Cyberpunk. I actually plays in a stream game now where both of us are GMs. So he was on with us because he's like, I know Yu-Gi-Oh really well, and it's the same thing where it's like you go back, you look at the rare cards, and it's like, okay, this one's worth a couple tens of thousands. This one's worth maybe just on a really good day for a high rating, like 6 figures. Like it's
Devil's Tutor sitting there in the middle of the trade show floor, and it's just like, oh yeah, that's why.
Demonic Tutor. Yeah, no, that's
yes.
Yeah. No, it's very like it was something where like just that. Well, it can't be worth that much. It is. I promise you, it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, it's very funny. So something I'm curious about, just because I know you mentioned this very briefly, James, and I want to get back to it. You said like you were playing the prototype kind of what would become Cyberpunk Legends with Mike Pondsmith when he was like, oh, we need to do this for Cyberpunk. How exactly, like, what happened there? I want to know the story, how that happened, because I was like just a really quick hit there.
Well, I mean, that's literally the story. Like, I was making it for my friends over COVID so we could have something to play when COVID was done, because I looked for a campaign co-op card game or a campaign co-op like RPG feeling game that was quick to set up and quick to learn, and I just couldn't find one. And so I was like, it's COVID, whatever, screw it, I'll make it myself, right? Like, and like, as I said, I've known Mike for a long time. I consider him one of my friends. We play games sometimes. We hang out and talk about paleontology. And basically, that was it. I was just like, it was like shortly after COVID, I was like, hey, there's this. I show prototypes, right? He talks to me about like cyberpunk stuff. And so it was just one of those, I was showing him the prototype and we were hanging out, and there was no expectation of like doing this with cyberpunk or anything. It was just
having fun.
Then he said those words and then we were doing it.
And because like, I think there was a quote from him specifically, I believe it was on the Kickstarter page that I saw, that was like, we've been in the works with this one for years. So this was like literally like 3 or 4 years then that was kind of slow burning in the background through development. It sounds like then after that.
I've been like, this is in total, I've worked on this for like half a decade, as wild as that seems to me now. But, well, I mean, not all of it was full time because one has to make a living at times.
Sure.
But yeah, basically, after talking to Mike, yeah, we've had this cooking for a bunch of years. Cal will tell you how much playtesting and kicking this thing has gotten. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad we got that time because Cyberpunk as a property deserves that level of time and attention, in my opinion.
100%.
That's so fucking cool.
So then, Cal, what does, I guess, like, how did the playtesting work for this? Was it pretty much all of it internal, or were you guys going out to like game stores and stuff like that and doing tests out in like the public space as well?
So, how I was introduced to it was Gen Con, which was a public playtest out and about. Like, people could play the demo portion of Deck 1, and back then, it was way different than how it is now. It was like the same core concepts, but written differently. Some of the cards had different art, different like effects on the cards. So even the game being like in development for this long, it's had a lot of time to cook.
Yeah.
Well,
and I was introduced to it like way later in.
Yeah.
And I've seen it change a ton.
Yeah, someday I will show off some of the early cards with the other system. But one of the things that's been very powerful for us as one of the modern tools of tabletop game creation is we did actually spin up a tabletop simulator version that, I mean, we'll probably play later, but like, we spun that up relatively early, and like, you know, because we've got our audience on Discord and stuff. I mean, Cal and his team has been running playtests basically every week with people on the Discord, and so we've gotten in literally hundreds and hundreds of playtests in a way that would have been impossible 20 years ago, which I think is just like kind of mind-blowingly awesome for this space.
Oh yeah, no, that's really cool, because I know like even because I know Diamond and I both have helped playtest things for Artel Saurian for the TTRPG. And just seeing the number of people that join in and that, it's very similar, right? It's every now and then they'll add a new pool of people together, and then it's on the Discord. They'll say, all right, we have a test coming up from this date to this date. Like, everyone get ready. And so it's very interesting to, just see how Discord and like online communities really have opened up the floodgates, so to speak, for allowing like more thorough testing of some of these things that, like you said, like the logistics alone of trying to organize that in an era before that is not something I want to think about. So as far as Legends goes, obviously the Kickstarter has come and gone in the time since Gen Con, because I remember then, I think I've still got the flyer actually like on my nightstand that you guys were giving out then to be like, sign up for the updates. Because I was like, oh, I gotta make sure I get in on that. But it's, I know that came, that went, it was obviously incredibly successful. Like, just going back to the Kickstarter to do a little research for the interview before today, reminding myself that it was like funded, and I think it said 19 minutes. So obviously incredibly successful Kickstarter. So after kind of going through that process and coming out the other end of that, how did that process, in your opinion, work? And like, what are your feelings kind of about that process, and I guess the degree of success that it saw in light of, you know, that whole process being completed now?
I mean, I'm very grateful for everybody who's thrown in on this, and I'm very grateful that this can even exist, right? Because, you know, without that process, I don't know if we could do this game to the level that we wanted to do it. And now we can, which is phenomenal. As far as the process goes, you said we're done with it. We're not done with it.
Wow.
I'm still doing, like, this is one of the things for anybody who wants to kickstart, I would warn you ahead of time. It is a lot of work. We're still doing Kickstarter updates. We're still doing all this other stuff. The Kickstarter itself is a full-time job for multiple people. Not only the month you do it, but probably the next couple of months after. It was like, the level of success blew me away. But at the same time, it is one of those things that, again, made me think about people getting into the industry, because I run into a lot of people who think, oh, I'm going to build this great thing and throw up a Kickstarter. I was funding this whole thing out of, like, off of my retirement savings. And life's been decent to me. And, like, you know, I had $100K I could throw at ads. I had all the connections of a lifetime working in the games industry to really, like, do this. And I don't know how I would have done it if I was, like, in my early mid-20s, like, just breaking in. I don't know if it is possible to do it without those resources. So that aspect of it worries me, because there was a time when Kickstarter, there wasn't a lot of competition, so just whatever the best thing was rose to the top. But now it's such a prevalent platform that, while that is still true to some degree, and I love Kickstarter, there's also a lot of stuff that, you know, name recognition counts. The fact that we had Cyberpunk in the name, the fact that we could advertise, right, and get the word out there, the fact that I could have, you know, endorsement, because it's not only Mike, right? Like, Richard's on there too. There's a bunch of other people who I could go, hey, can you give me a quote for the game? I worry for some folks who invest a lot in their game and then don't have a real plan to, as much as I hate the term, go to market when they're going to Kickstarter, because it's a lot rougher out there than it used to be. And I see a lot of people really overpromise on their Kickstarter and then get burnt by the fact that either they can't deliver or they didn't ask for enough to deliver all those things. So just, you know, proceed with caution. But it's an amazing community building tool. The people we met who through this thing have been incredible. We have a whole team of people who are now, like, beta testing the build your own adventure mode of this game because they came in through the Kickstarter. So while it was, like, you know, 12 weeks of no sleep for a lot of people, it was absolutely incredible, has funded this thing. Not only that, but got us noticed and it opened up opportunities for manufacturing, for distribution, for all these other things that we didn't have avenues into, or at least not at the highest level, because of the success of the Kickstarter. So for us, it's been a phenomenal thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it was cool to be, like, because I backed it pretty much, like, I think it was like day 2 or 3 of everything, and I was like, oh boy, I'm excited. Finally, I have a Cyberpunk card game to throw at my friends who are all cardboard addicts, and it'll be a good time. And so just watching how monumental the track was for funding for you guys, because, like, yeah, when I said it was done, I'm very much looking at from the funding round is done, and that part of it is complete, and obviously I've been getting the spammed emails of just like, make sure your backer kit is done, get your pledge manager in, please. Like, yeah, because you know after this week, I'm sure this goes live, I don't know when exactly this goes live, but this is, for us, the final week of Pledge Manager. We're actually recording this thing, and we're going to get a ton of emails next week being like, oh, I missed it. I didn't notice can I get my pledge? And
I can't wait to get on them.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I can't wait to get an ad in the Discord from a week from now and be like, hey, can you guys just, like, look at these and
Reopen the
respond to them.
package.
And
So that's not how these large systemic things work, unfortunately.
Well, unfortunately for us, the thing is we're at the point where we need to get order numbers into the manufacturer, right? And so it's weird. It's been an exciting ride for me because it's been a lot of years since I've had to physically manufacture something, right? Like working on the video game side, it's very different. I can scale up to infinite copies that I sell on Steam or through the PlayStation Store or whatever it is.
Right.
But here, we have to order a print run. And so we need actual numbers to send to them. And so there comes a date at which we have to go, okay, we can't accept any more orders for this print run because the numbers are out there. We've already sold every one that we're building, right?
Yeah. So, a curiosity I have, and I think this will lead to another question that Diamond has on her list. But once the Kickstarter fulfillments are done, because obviously you have thought just by this conversation and what we've been talking about, very clearly you have a plan for everything with the run through Kickstarter and then into retail. So like once retail does hit, like how broadly are you guys looking at as far as like retail release throughout US and then I guess like the world beyond internationally? What does that look like as far as that goes for you guys?
So tragically, a lot of my job is business development. As much as I would like to be focused on game design, I mean that part is important too, and you know gotta keep paying everybody. So we've basically got almost all of our global release lockdown. We have basically the US, all North America. We're distributing through LATAM. There's a whole bunch of countries Latin America will be distributing in. We've got Europe and the UK. We are distributing in Korea and in China. I'm traveling to Japan in a couple of weeks to go to Tokyo Game Market to talk to some of our possible distributors there, but I expect we'll have distribution in Japan. We have distribution in Australia, Oceania. So we've got most of the globe covered, and in a lot of the regions that I haven't mentioned, there are secondary distributors who will be, selling those through. But those are the places that we have direct reach into, both mom and pop stores, and some of the larger chains.
And I assume like that, this is going to go distributor to your local game store, kind of distribution channels. Okay, very very cool. So
in the U.S.
Yeah,
we're working with Asmodee, and I'll talk about the rest in a week or two. I'll be able to talk about our distribution partners in the rest of the world. But yeah, so like if you're running a hobby game store, thank you, you're awesome. Those stores are a lot of work, and I appreciate everybody who does them because I grew up in one. But yeah, you can just order through your Asmodee rep and they'll get it to you.
Very cool. Because I know, Diamond, you had some more questions about like the actual people who maybe they missed the Kickstarter and like when this does fully release and your local game store has it. I know that there were a couple questions you had kind of around that when that comes out.
I didn't know if we wanted to nail your last question before we went over to what I had, because a lot of mine are going to be more focused around the product itself.
Oh,
so.
Yeah. I mean, like, I can ask that.
Go ahead and ask your last one.
Yeah, because my other question, I guess, that I had around the development of the game, and I'd be interested to hear what both of you have to say about this. Obviously, Artel Soaring Games has been a partner in this to get this developed, because this does fall on the pre-Time of the Red part of the Cyberpunk timeline, which they are very much still in control of, and it's separate from CDPR that way. So I was curious, because several of the characters, especially the ones we saw in the Kickstarter, for the various classes that are going to be playable in Legends in this first set, what was it like working with Artel on the game, especially as it pertains to kind of the lore and some of those characters that are like now very well-established names like Bart Moss or like Santiago within the overall universe of Cyberpunk.
Freaking Morgan Blackhand.
Yeah, Blackhand.
We haven't heard anything about him since the 20s.
Yeah.
I mean, so for us, it was incredibly cool because for any audience who doesn't know, our game is set in the far future of 2013. So we're at like the very beginning of the Cyberpunk timeline in a place that hadn't really been built up or established yet. We're actually before most of the existing canon. And so the Artal folks were awesome about just letting us do that and hearing our ideas and being like, yeah, run with it. Cool, do that. And it's been really fun. They've even incorporated like, some of the bands we created, whole cloth for this time period and things like that are now official part of Cyberpunk canon. But the main thing is like Jay Gray is in our Discord. We talk to him all the time about like the lore on this stuff, and I think they've been remarkable on both being a licensor that has been willing to hear and listen to us about the creative aspects that we want to add, but also being a resource and giving us feedback on the established canon and like how things should go. So I mean, it's been great. Like I have worked with much stricter licensors and licensors who don't get games. That's the other thing that's awesome. Working with Artal, obviously they get games, and I shouldn't name the franchise, but like once in video games, I was working with a licensor and we were working on a first-person shooter, and like millions of dollars had gone to this project, and the licensor comes to check it out and goes, "Oh, well, our character can never shoot anybody in the back or below the waist." And we're like, "This is a first-person shooter in a video game. You do understand how those work, yes?" And so it's just been great working with somebody who's like both deeply embedded in the lore, open to working with us, and actually gets games. So when we're like, "Oh, for our purposes, we have to have it work this way," and they go, "Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Just do it. It's not exactly canon, but sure, do it."
Right.
Jay's fantastic, though.
Yeah. No, I know every time when we discuss lore with him and things like that, I know he's got one hell of an encyclopedic brain for the stories that are Cyberpunk. So that was really where I was like, oh man, I wonder what that was like. Yeah, having those conversations, because I know it's something that both he and Mike are like deeply passionate about, the stories of their characters and stuff like that. And just seeing the names that you had picked out for the first set, I was like, those are some big names. Like Bart Moss being the Netrunner was already, I'm like, oh boy, that's exciting. Like,
well, so a couple points on that. One, I want to give a shout out to Artal because 2045, the source book is coming out soon.
Yeah.
If you haven't got to check it out, you should. I've gotten to see an advanced copy. It's awesome. Has lots of like cool info about the world. So I wanted to make sure to give them a shout out since they've been nothing but good to us. And second, so we have a bunch of the young legends, which are character packs that you can get, but really the default character packs are your character, right? Your Netrunner, your Rocker, whatever it may be. They're not the named characters, because one of the things we want to make sure to do with this is, one of the cool things about setting it in 2013 is there's a lot of really major, just big events, important events for the Cyberpunk timeline that are about to happen. And so we want to drop you on the ground, just be an ordinary person, right? Like running the edge, but an ordinary person in the world at those times, and tangentially you're going to come across this thing. And probably for folks like you guys, you're going to know, and you're going to be like, oh, I know where this ends.
Yeah. That's fun.
But it's not like you're playing Johnny Silverhand or something, but you're going to run into it, right? You're going to run into some of these other people as some of these big events are going down. So that's sort of how the narrative in this is going.
2013, so the Arasaka riot then would be one of the events in question.
Probably.
So it hasn't happened yet, right? They're
leading up to it.
I mean, exactly. And even the precipitating event for that hasn't quite happened yet.
Ah,
That's
okay.
fun.
But
okay.
obviously, like, all these things have got to be in the works, because if you think about how long Arasaka had to have been working on that particular project, it's clearly like going at this period. So we've got some fun stuff there. I won't spoil anything, but we've got some fun stuff there.
Yeah, no, that's very exciting though to hear, like, because yeah, the development of Soul Killer and all that is something that obviously Diamond and I are very much like, ooh, that's like, as Netrunner fans, that's a big one that just like, it's endlessly fascinating.
It was a program that we could have in 2020, but you can't have it now.
You could have it, like, you could have David Sandevistan,
yes.
but yeah, like, but yeah, Diamond, I know you have kind of a battery of questions here about kind of the baseline, because again, Diamond came into this, I knew everything because I was a backer and was like very excited, like, oh cool, I get to talk to these guys, and Diamond's like, what's Legends exactly, Emmerron? And I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's right. I
want to make it clear, I knew that this is like a co-op card game, but like I've been kind of floating around on the outside just because there has been a lot of stuff happening from my end. But I suppose for me and a lot of other folks that are just kind of coming up to this, I asked, what kind of card game it is. So for those of us who haven't backed it though, what are we thinking, like what's going to be the cost for the kit, and what all comes with the kit when it hits market?
So when it hits market, it's probably going to be $65 retail, like MSRP. Okay. You're going to get 4 player decks, so you can play with 1 to 4 people. It'll include everything you need to play with 1 to 4 people. You get 4 scenarios to play, so 4 different adventures to go through that hopefully feel radically different. You'll get a bunch of what we're calling upgrade packs. Small spoiler, but after each of the scenarios, we're going to instruct you to find and pull out what looks like a booster pack out of the box, and you open it up, and those are the new abilities and weapons and contexts and stuff you can buy after each scenario and then add to your deck. You're going to get a trauma team pack, which you will be instructed to open if you ever flatline. So, I won't spoil any of what's in there, but as you can probably guess, when trauma team has to show up, probably not the best for you. Then obviously the rule book, some dice as counters for stuff, and a leader token. I think that's basically it, because one of the things we wanted to do is make this, compared to the big box campaign games, both relatively cheap and relatively compact. I wanted to create a game that you can just pick up and bring to your friends to play whenever with ease. So yeah, that's the game.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like 65, that's just a little more than just the standard core rulebook for Cyberpunk. So like you got everything you need. That's pretty good. I like that. I like that a lot, because that's something I really push for, is everything you need, 1 unit, affordable. And you had stated in your Kickstarter that you are creating expansions for the games.
Yep.
What, like, when we see these expansions come out, what will they consist of?
Okay, so there's going to be
the structure.
This is a great question. There's basically going to be 3 types of expansions that are going to be the core expansions. There's going to be new scenarios for a given campaign. So the campaign that you get in the core box, there's going to be a couple more scenarios to really take it to its final denouement. This is a complete thing in and of itself, but there'll be a couple more adventures within this storyline that we're going to release. Then there are sort of side quests, which are one-off scenarios, one-shots basically, that will be releasing as well. And there are new campaigns. New campaigns will be a full box. So don't quote me on this because I don't actually have numbers for it, but like a new scenario might be $20 or something. Whereas a new campaign is going to be the full box, right? So the $65 MSRP with new core player decks, a full new set of scenarios, all this stuff. And then periodically throughout the year, we'll be doing things like adding new character packs and other things. And then finally, we're working on, who knows when we'll get it done, because it's a monumental effort on the design side, but we're working on a build your own adventure kit, which will let you, as for folks like you who GM a lot, build your own scenarios to play with your friends.
So, just a quick follow up that I had for the middle of that. So these, when you release a new campaign, are those going to effectively be kind of standalone? Like if you didn't buy this core set that is currently going to be coming out, but one of those is since released, you can just kind of buy that and intro yourself through that rather than the set one that we're looking at right now after the Kickstarter.
That's the idea, but for anybody who did buy set one, if you want to do a little bit of deck building going in, for set one, we basically don't have you do any deck building. I want you to be able to jump in right away, grab a deck and play. But when we come with the campaign 2, well, that's still going to be an option for anybody who's new to it. But if you did buy set 1 and you already know the game and you want to take some cards from set 1 and do some deck building with what we give you in set 2, as advanced players, absolutely go for it, right? The cards will still all be compatible. Your collection will matter as we go on. And while I'm not allowed to do it yet, I want to make some really like tough as nails, difficult campaigns down the road for veteran players who have everything. Go, our crew can do this. Let's go.
Oh, that's fun.
Cal, did you have something to say as well on the expansions?
BYOA's been a lot of work. Like James was not kidding about Monumental. How many cards do we have in BYOA right now? I think it's over 200 right now.
It's actually, we've got 350 that are done. I've got like 50 or 60.
Oh my goodness.
Well, here's the problem, right? To give you all the tools, and you'll see as we play this, but to give you all the tools to actually design your own scenarios, it may be something like 1,000 cards that we need. So it may have to be several of these that come together, because we need not only to give you all the pieces, right? We need to not only give you, bozos and guards and the Arasaka Tower and all these things, but then we need to give you all the functional bits. Like I need to give you a card that says, discard the next card without looking at it and then draw the following card. Stuff like that, so that way you can set up this deck in a way that you can give the players choices and have branching paths and do all these other things. So you can kind of think of it as like Mario Maker or whatever, like building DLC for a video game. If we can pull it off, I will be very proud of it. I think it'll be very cool. But making sure that you have all the tools to tell the stories you want to tell, it's a lot.
Yeah. No, I get that. As a game master who's coming up with stuff on the fly all the time, yeah, I get that. Loud and clear.
Next one here. So Cyberpunk and even like other games and books of that genre, they can be rather dark and also sometimes very intense in the genre. And so I guess I have to ask you guys, what adjustments were made that gave Cyberpunk Legends a 14+ rating? Because it can be tough.
So I do hate to say it, but 90% of things get the 14+ rating for one of the same reasons that we got the 14+ rating. Regulations are much easier in the EU if you declare yourselves as 14+.
Really?
Shipping something to the EU if you don't say it's for 14+ is like, I mean, good on them for the level of regulation, but you have to go through like massive testing and massive hoops to ship it on a 14 product. So you'll see a lot of games. You might be like, oh, why is Boggle 14+ or whatever?
Oh,
and it's for distribution reasons.
I think the curiosity is from the opposite angle of like, so often I know like Diamond and I will rate our games for like 18+, like because of how mature some of those themes and stuff are. So how are you designing the game in such a way, I guess, that it doesn't obviously, like, there are things within games that we just aren't going to do in a card game that maybe are easier to do for a tabletop game. But that's where I think that curiosity came from.
So I think that for us, there's a couple of things. One, to me, it's not so much like the violent or disturbing themes. To me, there's a sorrow inherent to Cyberpunk. And that's where the maturity really comes from, and that's what we wanted to capture. And the interesting thing to me, and I think what makes Night City such a vibrant place, is that it has this juxtaposition because it has all the futility and sorrow of Cyberpunk, but it also has this hope, this brightness, this like people there are really alive, right? In the way that it's hard for us some of us to be in actual 2025, right? Like there is an idea of living life to the fullest because you might be dead tomorrow in Night City that we don't necessarily all get to capture in our real lives. And so we want to get that in as well, right? Like we wanted to make sure that there was that side. And so, you know, while there are still a lot of the themes and I mean, a lot of things you'd expect from Cyberpunk wouldn't be Cyberpunk without drug use, right? Like couldn't do it.
Gotta have your boosters.
Right. But I don't think that sometimes you see Cyberpunk products that seem to be like they want to prove how edgy they are, and I don't think we need to do that. If you look back at things like Burning Chrome, at things like Diamond Age or whatever, there are those moments in there, but it's not the most prominent, right? And so that's where I think we hit the 14 plus, aiming for the sorrow more than like the edginess.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that, and if it's mainly for distro purposes, understandable. I just like usually a lot of other GMs I see, it's just like I wouldn't run this for like my nephews or nieces. I'd wait till they were at least like 17 or 18 before having them at my table.
I think you should be able to jump in, like if you're like 13, 14, I think you should be able to jump into this, right? Like especially 14 plus, like I mean, I remember I read Neuromancer when I was like 13, and that's the sort of level of content. That's the sort of content that we're looking for.
Sure.
Also, there's not a huge amount of like, there is like violence in descriptions or whatever, but there's not like a huge amount of violence depicted on the cards.
Okay.
Cyberpunk inherently is a sexy world, but we worked very hard to not make it leering, right?
Sure.
I imagine like you're not focused on that when you're running gigs. So like,
right.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure, like, you know, I want you to be able to play this with friends anywhere. I want you to be able to play with strangers at your local game store. And so I don't want there to be any cards that you're embarrassed to slam down on the table. And so, so that's sort of where we were aiming for.
Sure. Yeah.
So, also in the Kickstarter, you know, and like we've talked about, game is set in 2013. What materials were used in development for this? And then just also as a quick follow-up, will we be seeing stuff from the 20s and maybe the time of the Rad?
So, down the line, I plan to do things throughout the timeline. I've talked to Mike about if this project is as successful as we hope it is, basically running the gambit of that timeline, maybe even eventually catching up with some of the 45 stuff. The cards, especially when you look at the player cards, some of them are very ambiguous in their timeline. Some of them are, you're like, oh, that feels a little bit later than 2013. That's because we do want you to be able to use these cards with any of the sets that come out. And so like most card games, there has to be a little bit more flexibility there. And so you'll see some stuff that certainly hints at the future, if not as part of it, in the player cards.
So
Right.
I guess touching on something from that, is any of the artwork actually in the first set, is any of it like referential to some of the artwork we saw in either the very first like black box set for Cyberpunk or the 2020 books? Like, because I've seen obviously a little bit of it, and some of it does seem reminiscent, but I'm curious if any of them were like just straight like, let's do a version of that piece or something like that.
So the cool thing about Artel being a small store and like mostly being the family and people I know, they were very awesome about it, and they actually let us use some of the book art. So we don't have it for a lot, but for those of you in the know, there are like 5-ish cards that you will definitely recognize the art on. It doesn't go quite that far back because production issues. There are no remaining copies of some of that art that is of high enough resolution for us to actually use. Even if it was in color, and a lot of it wasn't in color back in the day.
It would have to be recreated.
Exactly. But they did give us access to their archives, and so there are, a handful of Easter eggs for those of you who are Cyberpunk aficionados.
That's very exciting.
Nice.
Go ahead, actually.
I suppose on that last note of artwork, I've seen a lot of the artwork in there. It looks incredible. Who are some of the artists that you guys brought onto the project? I know it's probably a big list, but are there like some notable names that we may have seen from other portions of the Cyberpunk community?
So this list is very long because one of the things we've learned in
What's
doing,
the number?
It's God, I don't even know. It's like 50 some odd people. It's like
wow.
Well, so here's the thing, right? We're doing a card game where the core box you get like 400 cards,
Right.
most of which have a unique art. That's a lot of images. I would love to connect you folks with like Irene, our art director, if you ever want to talk art, because I don't want to steal her thunder. She has done an incredible job, much better than I ever could, like managing a team of that size, making sure that like the artists could really lean into their own style while still making sure there's a unified aesthetic for everything. And so she's really the one to talk art questions with. But man, it has been a project. One of my favorite things about it is actually been bringing in some new people, right? Like, while a lot of the people we've reached out to are established artists, we've tried to make sure to go, okay, let's everybody trawl through ArtStation, through Instagram, find people who are doing cyberpunk stuff that's beautiful, that's unique, and reach out, right? Because again, I would like to see more people have these opportunities, and like visual art in the age of the internet is a tough gig. I mean, it's always been a tough gig. And so just trying to get, you can't pay much, but a few dollars into people's pockets is something that I would like to do. And I love, all the Magic the Gathering artists or whatever, or all the Pokemon artists, but they're set, right? Like
Right.
they're already commanding big dollars for that. So let's see if we can bring in a few more people, and then maybe those people can write. And I did the Cyberpunk Legends card game on their resume or whatever, and get Magic to hire them for the big bucks.
Hey, like you said, if the project is around for long enough, that the Legends might have its own legacy there where that's concerned.
How big I guess final question for me then, how big is your team? Like, if you had to like take account of every contractor, everybody that's working on this project, how big is that team?
We've got 6 full-time staff and about 5 more people on contract.
So that's 11 plus like the 50 or so artists. So we're looking at a little over 60, 70 people working on this project.
I mean, I think that if you want to count all the artists, and then I mean, I would love to also give a shout out to everybody at Artal who also contributed. We've had a bunch of people on the Discord. Like we've thrown up versions of the rulebook every couple of weeks onto Discord and be like, rip this apart. And we've had tons of people contributing there. So like, I don't know how people do this with a smaller team. Like I keep being told that 6 full-time staff is actually an enormous staff for a tabletop games company, and I can't imagine doing it with a single person less. Like,
yeah, it's like I've managed my own like small releases for like homebrew stuff for Cyberpunk all on my own, and even that wasn't entirely on my own. I still had people helping me play test, people helping me edit. So like, yeah, like doing it with less than 5 or 6 people, having some hand in the midst of all that is not something that I'm like, I don't know how you do that. And that's for my small thing, much less a giant thing like Legends is. So like, that's very impressive that it's like, that it is, for people saying that's large, that is impressive in one way, but it is impressive to think that even 6 people is large. That just is baffling to me in a way.
The economics of the tabletop industry are not great. Like, distributor takes about a third, retailer takes about a third, and then whatever your manufacturing costs are come out of your remaining third, and that's your entire operating budget, right? So if you're selling a game for, say, $65, you're maybe seeing 8 to 10 of that, right? If you're lucky, which I understand why a lot of companies are very small. Like I was literally told by somebody who's been in this industry for a long time, somebody who I actually respect, who goes, yeah, we have to lay off our staff between every project. And I'm like, I can't imagine doing that. That's not how I want to run a company. But the economics are really tough, especially now in this industry.
Yeah.
But before we hop on to playing the game or anything else, I've responded to most of these because I know the answers a little bit better. But Cal, is there anything that you wanted to like say, or anything that didn't get touched on that you think would be awesome to mention? Because I want to make sure you get a chance to like say some stuff.
I suppose, like, with this being like one of your first times like in the saddle of a game like this, Cal, like what are you feeling? Like what do another here? Like how are you feeling?
Stress, I guess, is the best way to put it. But it's good stress. Like like I've said before, I'm getting to do something I've wanted to do for pretty much since I was a kid. I do work another job outside of this and do sewing commissions whenever I can.
Oh, really?
But I mean, yeah, it's I mean, even this I got invited to when Matthew and Giovanni and I were going to be working on our little project. But I mean, honestly, yeah, it's the first time I've been in here, so didn't really have much to add on, honestly. I'm just happy to be here.
No, I mean, it is wild because I know I just went to a convention this last weekend, and because I in addition to running all the content stuff, I'm also an RPG coordinator for a company called Envoy. So they're the ones who run a lot of the demos and stuff for Artel at conventions and things like that. And I was at this convention in Nebraska over the weekend, and other than the one friend of mine local to me here that I brought with, the other 2 guys in the room, one of them was much older and one of them was, I think, a bit younger than me. And both of them were like, yeah, I was told that the path to success looked like a corner office in a corporate building. And I find myself now not really ever having, like the older guy said, I never really had the heart in mind to pursue corporate America the way that my parents maybe thought. And the other guy was like, yeah, and I never really saw a fulfillment in that. And so both of them are like, we are in games because we would much rather be doing this and fulfill our soul and make enough rather than to try and pursue the ends of the earth, moonshot, and get everything and have nothing left at the end of the day. And I'm like, that's so true.
I've said this to friends a lot. One of my biggest fears, out of anything, I have thalassophobia. Even that pales in comparison to my biggest fear of a job in a cubicle. That is, my genuinely. That is the one path I knew I did not want to take at all. I do not want to do that sort of thing. Art has always been something I love. Games. And then I like cooking, but a big passion of mine is games and now very much design. I've had a lot of fun in it.
In response to you, Cal, here I am at age 27. I worked multiple different security gigs. One of them being, armed guard in a corporate office, and just how catty the office politics are. Like, no, I couldn't be an exec. No.
And no. I worked cubicle jobs for nearly a decade before, despite going to school for art. Funny enough, right? I did the very thing that you're terrified of, and I told myself I wanted the surety of like W-2 work instead of working contracts for my entire life, because something about that to college me sounded better. And at 33, nearly 34, I could say with confidence that just post-college me was very wrong. I find so much more joy in freelancing now than I ever did in the corporate security, quote unquote, that I thought I had. So no, I'm with you 100% on that. But yeah,
it's I didn't know what fully I wanted to do when I was younger. Like literally everybody. Very rare for people to know what they want to do, but I knew the one thing I didn't want to do was that. Fair. And I took every step I could to make sure I didn't.
No, 100%. Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys so much for chatting with us. But yeah, we do have a demo that we wanted to get along to here. So I suppose without further ado, let's hop on over there. So to the audience, we'll see you in just a second.
All right, so this...
Yep. Go ahead, James. Take it away.
I know that there's probably a hard cut to this weird tabletop simulator thing. So this is our tabletop simulator version of the game. Everybody's just jumped in and grabbed a seat. You can see that there are 4 roles on the table. There's the rocker, the netrunner, the nomad, and the solo. Those of you familiar with Cyberpunk are probably very familiar with these roles, but in the game, the rocker is kind of like a D&D bard or whatever. They are the one who can heal the party. They set up and make big moments for everybody else. The solo wants to hit stuff hard, and your game plan is kind of just to figure out how to hit stuff even harder. Netrunner buys time for everybody to do their crimes. We sort of encapsulated netrunning in the idea of, okay, what does netrunner do? Well, they shut down the security systems or distract the guards or whatever it is, buying everybody some more time so they can buy extra turns. They can get extra turns for the other players. Nomad is kind of the most complex of the classes. They're the stealthy one, but they also have a lot of tools to fix everybody else's mistakes. So I'll be playing that today. This is a co-op game, so we live or die as a crew. You can see we've got 20 health on the side. Anytime that we take damage, we all take damage as a team, so we're going to just reduce that 20 health. I'm just not a big fan of games where one person can get knocked out and then, have to wait for 30 minutes for everybody else to slowly die. So, Night City, live or die with your crew. Other than that, rules of the game are very simple. Whoever has this leader token, which I'm going to grab just to explain things, is just going to take the top card of the scenario deck, this deck in the center, flip it over, read everything aloud on it to the entire team, and then we're going to do any instructions on it, and then they're going to pull the next card, unless it's an obstacle, which I'll explain as soon as we get there. And because we haven't actually read the rulebook, there is a tiny bit of narrative in the rulebook. we've just come to Night City. We went to a pawn shop to sort of tool up, get ready for our time here. And as we're doing it, the pawnbroker is telling us all about the rules of Night City, right? It's just getting to the very end of it and the most important stuff. And he sort of cocks his head and listens for a second, goes, wait, what's that? Duck. And as you can see over here, it tells you to open scenario pack 1, which is what we've got in the center of the table. The goal of the team is to get from the bottom to the top of the scenario deck. If we do that, we will have cleared the scenario, and I won't spoil what happens then, but that is our goal here. So, as the leader, I'll just grab the top card, or it being Tabletop Simulator, I will grab all the cards. I will grab the top card, flip it over, and read it aloud. If you guys are unfamiliar with Tabletop Simulator, you can hold Alt to blow up cards to make them an actual readable size for you and your viewers. And top stuff, we've already shuffled things. I'll explain drawing in a minute. So yeah, I think that's it. So anyway, yeah, guys, Coxon goes duck. Bullets thud into germ-plast walls. You vault over the counter looking for a way out. Nothing. Glass shatters. Displays erupt as 2 nomads spray the shop with ancient automatics. You check once more for a back exit. Dead end. The only way out is through. Whenever you finish reading a story card, draw the next card. So I'm going to do that. Flip up the card. Bike raiders. They aren't here to talk. So this is an obstacle. So this is when we're going to get to our cooperative poker hand. So for these guys, you'll notice they have 2 numbers in the top right corner. They've got a 2 next to an X. That's how much damage they're going to do to us if they survive the round. And they have an 8 next to a heart, which is their health, how much damage we have to do to overcome them. And damage is persistent. So, if we do 3 damage in this round, we'll have to do only 5 damage in the next round. Okay. And then underneath their name, you're probably seeing some weird icons. Well, that's the cooperative poker hand. At this point, everybody shuffle up your deck. You can press R to do that. And then draw 5 cards. You just hit the 5 key and click on the deck, and you'll draw up 5 cards. Cards count as every symbol and every number on them. So this counts as a 5, 3, and a 2 of muscle. It will count for all those things for the purpose of making pairs or for making a straight, right? Because we've got multiple numbers on this, you could make a straight in 2 cards. Cards will, let me go search through my deck and find a good example. Cards can also count as multiple suits. So this is a 10 of muscle and charisma. And sometimes you'll see cards have multiple of the same suit. So like if this had 3 charisma symbols on it, that would count as 3 charisma symbols towards a flush. You need 5 cards in a row to make a straight. You need 5 of the same symbol to make a flush. Now, some of the cards you've got will say they do damage. This is where this cooperative poker hand thing comes in. When you're looking at the bike raiders, if you look at those 2 symbols below them, what that means is we need a pair with at least 1 muscle symbol in it, or a straight, or better. The plus just means or better to hit these guys. If we don't get any of those things, no matter how much damage we put into the plan, it does nothing. We miss. The plan doesn't come together. We're just not doing it. And so we're going to, in order to make a plan, starting with the leader, we're going to go clockwise, and each person is going to get to put 1 card into the plan from their hand until we get 5 cards in the plan, and then the plan will resolve. We check to see if we hit, we apply any damage, and if the obstacle survives, they hit us back. Now, while we go to 5, Netrunner, you may have some cards that say plan size +1. You can extend the plan, give more people extra turns to do even bigger, more complicated things. So with that, there's only one other thing you need to know, which is the table talk rules. When bullets are flying, sometimes communication isn't perfect. So we can say anything we want to each other except so no numbers, no suits, no names of cards, no rules. You can say anything else though. So for example, at Gen Con, I had one guy go, hey team, I have too many options in my hand. I have too many choices to make. This is totally legit because this is Night City. Bend the rules as far as you can. That's part of the game. Very often we'll have people do stuff like going, who's feeling regal today if they want to, have somebody else play a face card. As you start learning each other's decks, the coolest thing to me about watching this and how it played out in a way that was a little bit unexpected to me is a scenario or two in, people start knowing each other's decks, and then they start role-playing to basically communicate. There's a card called Swift Kick, and Swift Kick, I heard somebody the other day go, I'm going to give this guy a boot to the face. And I immediately knew they meant that they were going to use Swift Kick. I knew what was on Swift Kick, so I was like, oh, okay, that sounds like a great plan. I'm totally in for the boot to the face plan because I have a number that matched. So with that, I will jump on in, and I got the leader token, so I'm going to start. I am the nomad, so normally I'm not working out a lot. I'm not really very good at the whole muscle thing. But in this case, I'm going to do... So I'm feeling a little bit low today. Is anybody else feeling low?
Not exactly.
I'm feeling pretty low.
Kind of mad.
Middle of the road?
Feeling kind of down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm just going to put in a bunch of numbers and the suit we need to make a pair. If you look at this thing, we need a pair with a muscle symbol, straight or better. The card I put down can help us get either of those. And the reason that there's two objectives on this is a fight, right? So you've got the thematic objective, the pair with the muscle symbol, or the buyout condition. If you can't do that, well, we can do sort of the unthematic thing of we're just doing a straight. We're doing a much harder to hit hand, but it doesn't have any requirements. So, I put a 5-3-2 of muscle in. Rocker, it's your go.
Feeling very...
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. So now we've made our pair. We've actually made two pairs with muscle symbol. We're definitely hitting these guys. But we have a problem. My card did 0 damage. Rocker's card did -1 damage. So I hope you all have some damage you can do here.
Am I up next after the Rocker then? Does it go around that way?
You're playing solo. Yes, you're up next.
Okay, very cool. I'm feeling particularly violent, so I think
I like it.
Throw this bad boy in.
Oh, that is awesome. Excellent choice. And this is +1 damage for each pair the plan makes. So we've got a 3, 2, and a 5 paired already. So that is, a full 3 points of damage off this thing. And just so everybody understands timing, damage is calculated when the plan resolves. So if we make more pairs, this isn't calculated until we've made the full plan. So we could even do more damage off this.
Yeah.
Honestly, if we can get it back to me with one plan size increase, I can do a lot of damage.
Okay.
I can make these guys have a good time.
I've got something else too, but if you need a little more time.
Well, excellent. So now I'm going to do the Nomad thing. So I'm going to play a handoff. You may discard up to 2 cards from the plan. I'm going to discard both this and Disarming Smile. Even though Disarming Smile is actually doing +1 damage because of I am the weapon, I think we can do even better.
Oh boy.
Just so everybody knows, because it's going to come up, pairs have to be numerically distinct pairs. So our 3 5s only count as 1 pair.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
All right. So I have to ask, because it's gonna end on our net runner here. For the damage you two are thinking of, are either of you feeling charming with that sort of damage, very charismatic in that damage, or is it just like fine?
I don't know how charming I'm feeling about it.
It's gonna be some tough programming for me.
Be honest.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
Bring out the good drugs.
Yeah.
Like this.
I see.
All right.
Gotta
Wow.
give the bike riders some party favors.
Yeah. Okay. So I am not certain if this is going to be of massive assistance right now, but
Oh, hey,
Since we're only making one pair, it's probably not going to hit. It's not going to be because +4 damage if the plan contains 3 or more pairs. We're only making one pair. It's unlikely in the last remaining card we're going to be able. It's not impossible.
yeah.
Had I known that,
smile.
unfortunately, yeah, I wouldn't have taken out that 3/2. Yeah. Although we would have never gotten back to it if I hadn't taken out the 3/2. So you win something.
If you
Right.
if you discarded handoff, it would have ended on our solo.
That's
If
true.
you just
If I
did handoff,
discarded
yeah.
Yep.
But yeah.
All right, Olympus
Well, that's
Protocol. We
that's
definitely
a
contain a pair.
straight.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also extra damage if it.
Don't we
it's a
need
pair.
wait? 2, 3.
It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, we need the
where's the
6.
6?
Yeah.
Or
Or
an
an
ace.
ace. Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because we made the
Oh.
other condition. We made the thematic condition of a pair with a muscle symbol. So that's the first thing we do. We check to see if we hit. Do we hit? Well, here's a pair of 5s and a muscle symbol. Great. So now we add up damage. Item the weapon is doing +1 damage for each pair in the plan. So in this case, you have a pair of 5, so it's dealing 1 damage. Party favors deals 3 more damage. So we're at 4 damage. And the Olympus Protocol is going to do 2 more on top of that because there is a pair in the plan, bringing us up to 6 damage. So we do 6 to these guys. Not quite enough to defeat
Dang.
them, which means they hit us back for 2. That's okay, because now we clean up the plan. So everybody take your cards from the plan and put them in your discard. And then if you don't defeat an obstacle, you can discard up to 1 card and draw back up to your hand limit, which is 5.
So repeat that one for me. Discard 1 card and then take your hand.
Yep, you can discard up to 1 card. So if you didn't want to discard anything, you don't have to. But yeah, you discard up to 1 card and draw back up to 5.
Okay.
Is anyone feeling lucky?
Which color's luck?
So, this is a good question. I'm going to go over the suits since we didn't actually go over those yet. So, the lips are charisma. We tried to do cool. So many people who didn't ever play Cyberpunk just didn't know what cool meant.
Yeah.
So, it's charisma.
Fair.
The fist is muscle. The eyeball is stealth. And the circuit board is tech. And so those are the 4 suits.
Okay.
Charisma, muscle, stealth, and tech. But when he says about being lucky, since I played with him before, I'm guessing he means lucky in the slot machine sense. Like, do you have something that would be lucky on a slot machine? Do you have a lucky number in hand?
If not, that's okay.
I'm feeling pretty lucky, honestly.
I'm feeling very lucky adjacent.
I mean,
Adjacent. I need a lot of luck on the board to get what I need done. I can wait until it's my turn.
I think if we're talking about a certain number in mind, I think I might have your number.
Mm.
Well, you know what I can do? I'm going to Hail Mary for it. That's what I'm going to do. Second story work. Draw a card, discard that card, or put it into the plan. Plan size +1 if you put that card into the plan.
Oh!
Yes!
Oh my goodness.
It actually might work. Okay.
Here we go.
There we go.
All right, so it's on the board right now, so I can say it. We cannot go over 3.
Mm-hmm.
Right now we're hitting, so we don't have to go over 3.
All
but
right.
right now we need exactly 3 7s
Well,
to give the effect.
allow me to contribute mine to the mix here then.
Glorious.
Petra.
I was hoping for a boot to the face.
And that is indeed a boot to the face.
I believe we
Just for everybody at home, if you didn't get a chance to read it, Hope, the card that Cal laid down, heals 4 if there are exactly 3 7s in the plan. So now we've made that exact 3 7s. We're going to heal 4. That's one of the biggest heals, like, default in the game. Usually very hard to pull off. It's awesome that we're able to just, like, snap that one off and do it.
Yeah, that's very, very good.
Excellent. We are double Olympus protocoling these guys.
I love Olympus Protocol so much. This is so good.
So good. So that's one of the fun things for us was in the art, one of the ways we made things thematic is like, right, our net is psychedelic. Our net is this like weird space that you'll see how different that like art style is for anything that's happening sort of on that Netrunner Hackery side. But okay, so we actually have one more. I've got to contribute one more thing to the plan because we have plan size from +1 from second story work. So I will just show them my wasteland ways and we check to see if we hit. Well, we've got a pair. We've got a pair of 7s with a muscle symbol in it. We've actually got a 3 of a kind with 7s with a muscle symbol in it. So we're definitely hitting. We're doing 2 damage from Swift Kick, 2 more damage from Olympus Protocol, another damage from Wasteland Ways. So we obliterate these guys since they only had 2 life left. Woo! And then
nice.
We have some hope, so we heal back up. With that, everybody cleans up their cards from the plan.
I do want to touch on 2 things if I'm okay to do so.
Yeah, totally, absolutely go.
You cannot go unless a card is stating you cannot go over 20 HP. Also, on your turn, if there still is room in the plan to play cards, you must play a card unless you are out of cards. If you cannot play, the plan resolves.
Yep.
So the plan ends early if you run out of cards.
Excellent additional information. Yes. Those are both important points.
And a question. So the plan size thing that happened when we resolved an extra card in, that extra card didn't count against the plan size then? Or what is the default plan size?
So the default plan size is 5, and normally it would count against the plan size. So actually, this is perfect. I have 2 different cards here. So I played Second Story Work. Second Story Work says draw a card, discard that card, or put it into the plan. Plan size +1 if you put that card into the plan, right? If you put a card into the plan this way.
Right.
So Second Story Work basically free rolled us the other card by giving us a plan size +1. Okay. Now, if you look at Leap says search your deck for another 2 and put it into the plan. That doesn't give you a plan size +1. So yes, that would eat one of the other spots. But because the way Second Story Work is worded, because it gives you plan size +1, we sort of get that extra card for free.
So basically, if you don't get a plus plan size, you're resolving a plan. Whoever goes first essentially gets a second turn that closes the plan at the 5th card, basically, unless something expands it. If I'm understanding that right.
Yes, you totally are, and you hit on an important point, right? Whoever goes first. So this leader token moves. So Cal's going to go first the next time. Which means that whoever is the leader kind of has a little bit more influence over the plan because they get to go first and they get to go last. That's kind of being the leader. But what's really neat is if you don't have 4 people to play with, you don't have to learn any new rules. This game just scales itself because you have less sort of options to play with. You have less decks to play with, less cards in hand because you only have, like, say, 3 people. But we're still going to 5 cards. So now 2 people are going to put 2 cards in the plan. You have a lot more control over the plan that way. So it just automatically scales if you want to play with less people. And then it also, you can play solo if you want. Basically, I can explain those rules later, but you're going to play with 2 decks, one of which is a Merc who's just going to flip their top card. And every time you hit an obstacle, you just have to play around whatever they happen to throw into the plan off the top of their deck. But yeah, the game basically scales that way, and it's an excellent observation. That is what makes the leader position sort of more powerful. You both get to lead it off and set the agenda and close the thing out. So now the leader token, after we defeat an obstacle, the leader token moves. So now Cal is the leader. And we kind of get a breather between each obstacle, which means that you can discard as many cards as you want from your hand and draw back up to your full hand size, which is 5.
And what it says, so
Clue.
For the next one, yes, set aside your clue cards. That is what exactly?
So, excellent. So, Cal, do you want to read this card aloud and then I'll explain the clues?
Yeah, I gotcha. The bikers try to flee. One makes it, one doesn't. Something is wrong here. You're new in Night City, but even you know that this is expensive tech for a couple of nomads just in from the wake. Time to ask the pawnbroker some questions. Set aside your clue cards. You can refer to them at any point.
So, this is the final rule. You've now actually learned all the rules and some more that you need to know to play the game. The final rule is these clue cards. Anything with this symbol on it, you can see the magnifying glass next to the name of it. You can see the word clue at the bottom in red. Anything that's a clue, you're going to set aside so you can refer to it later. There may come points in the scenario where something comes up that you don't know what to do or where you have a choice you have to make, and then it's probably a good idea to look back at your clue cards. But yeah, now you've learned all the rules of Cyberpunk Legends. That's it. But since this was a clue card and not an obstacle, you can draw the next card and we keep going.
Mm-hmm. A little chat. The smoke clears. The pawnbroker stands amidst the debris, clapping slowly. It's time you had a little chat. At the end of each round, the leader must discard a card with charisma on it from their hand. If they can't, take 2 damage.
Oh.
It is a good thing it's on me.
Yeah, the rocker is good for this one. And yeah, this requires either a pair with a charisma or a straight or better. So you want to kick it off?
I can fulfill the plan on my own.
Okay.
I can fulfill the 2-hit requirement on my own.
So, question, has anybody been working out? Anybody been, really
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling pretty tough, pretty strong here.
Not only am I
right.
feeling tough, but I feel like I can inspire other people to feel tough.
Yeah. So let me.
Some could say I could get a city to rally together.
Yeah, let me just throw down this real quick and see if that helps with the.
Oh wait, I'm already hitting.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. We are definitely hitting.
What we got going on here?
Oh, you just need damage.
Yeah, I'm just seeing.
I mean, we're already stacking some damage.
Do we need a little extra time with this?
I'm going to buy us a little time too.
Time is never bad, I think.
Yeah.
Time is so the plan size +1 cards are super powerful. The real question about them is always as we get further, as we start taking on some of the harder scenarios, the netrunner has to choose, okay, I've only got a limited number of these in my deck, like, is this the time to use it? By the way, if you do ever get through your deck, you just flip over your discard, shuffle it up, and start drawing again.
Oh, that's cool.
But until you get, it kind of becomes a strategy. There is that times where you go, I'm just going to discard my whole hand because I know my best cards are in my discard already, and I want to just burn through this deck. Yeah, speaking of discard, I'm just going to put in some bit rot. I can discard a card from the plan. Cards effects occur after they hit the table. So I put that into the plan, and then its discard effect happens, and I choose itself. So, yeah, go nomad things.
Then says, well, if there's already... Oh, wow, okay. That's pretty good.
+2 to the plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do some violence real quick.
Okay, so we have 2 threes of a kind. Yeah, we definitely have a full house here.
If you look at the little cards,
double plans +1 too, so we've got 2 more goes here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The little cards next to your characters on the board.
Yeah.
I'll say what ranks the poker hands are, like what's better than others, and the little plus symbol next to the highest requirement means or better. So if we hit anything that was better than a straight, we would still be hitting. So
got it.
We're already hitting off of a pair of charisma. but we would also be hitting off of just a full house as well.
Yep, because a full house is, as you said, better than straight.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh, wow. All right.
Do you have a good amount of damage or a way to skip? Because I got a good amount.
If I put something detrimental in the plan, would you, Rocker, have any way of getting rid of it?
Absolutely not.
That's too bad.
I don't have any of those in here.
Okay, so now it's math time. We're doing 1, 2. We've got this enormous plan, but we're actually only dealing 3 damage so far.
I think do it.
No,
It's a cool gimmick to show anyway.
It is a cool thing. You could do it, but instead, I'm gonna bring out guns. Lots of guns.
Oh, that's fun. Okay.
So, guns get +1 damage for each muscle in the plan. That's why I wasn't communicating. I'm tired, so I wasn't communicating well. That's why I was like, anybody been working out?
Yeah, well, we were clearly.
Yep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. And now our rocker has to discard something.
I got you.
Okay, cool. Now we clean up the plan.
Ooh. How technical are we feeling?
I'm
A
not
little
feeling.
bit?
I'm not feeling particularly technical.
A little bit technical.
I can also solve this problem myself. I have my own ways of communicating with this fellow. I've just communicated with guns, lots of guns.
I like the communication. Draw 2 more cards, James.
All right, perfect, beautiful. Also, oh god, tabletop sim.
Oh.
Control Z for me for a second.
I got you.
Thank you.
Oh boy.
The other thing to know is that you never have to discard down, no matter how many cards you end up with in your hand. You just don't draw up unless you have less than 5.
Okay.
So I highly recommend just playing things that you don't think are any good. That would be my recommendation this round.
Yeah. No. I mean, I think I'm gonna just throw this into play.
You just spar with the guy, a little, impress him with your shadow boxing skills.
Yeah, just a little bit. Mess around.
Hit him with the 1-2, but like not actually hitting him.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so
Like
funny.
the scene from Edge Runners.
What do you got for us, Runner?
Let's see. I will.
He's already dead.
Oh, he's already dead.
He's already dead.
He's already
Just
dead.
a star? Alright. Perfect. Because I'm taking this to the bitter end.
Oh boy.
Plan size -2. You may discard any number of other cards from the plan. Immediately deal 1 damage for each card discarded this way. Well,
boy.
get him on out of here.
And he's dead.
And we deal 3. Yep, and this does immediate damage.
Vince.
Immediate damage means that it's just literally done immediately. You don't have to worry about making the 2 hit requirements or anything else. So he's so done for. And the leader token moves. Everybody can discard as many cards as they want from their hand and then draw back up to 5.
Beautiful. So I'm gonna discard this. Even as just like a quick and dirty kind of demo of things.
This plays very nice and snappy, and I like it.
This
I
is
like it a lot.
Yeah, this is very fun.
See why we came back in Gen Con?
We can even just have you bow out, and then if you guys want, we could finish because there's only like 2 more rounds. Each of basically the demo ends when everybody's gotten to be the leader once. So if you guys want to go through it, I'm happy to run you through.
I got just enough time. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of time. So, but yeah, Cal, if you need to bow out, that's totally fine.
Thanks for being here, Cal.
Yeah, thank you for showing.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Of course.
All right. I hope you all have a good night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Arizona, right? Yeah, it's not right now.
Yeah, we're
going
getting
on
there.
6.
It's like sunset. Yeah.
Ah, well,
Yeah.
all right. Well, have a good night.
Have a good night.
Good night.
See ya.
Bye.
All right. So then I suppose I'm leader now. Oh no.
Yeah, you are leader
That's
now.
dangerous. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So suppose we flip over the next part of
Yep.
this. So let me remember how that works.
You can just let it go and then press the F key. Yeah, and then press Alt
press
if you want to blow it up.
F. That's what it is. Okay. Beautiful. You want answers? Answers don't come cheap in Night City. The pawnbroker says, flicking his cigarette into the remains of his store. But I'll give you something better. I'll give you a job. He produces a data deck from under his coat. Clearly, it was the only thing he grabbed when the shooting started. I was supposed to deliver this to a fellow over at Colonel Panic. Seems unhealthy for me to be doing that now. You take it to him. I'll cut you in for 10%. This is a terrible idea. You know that. He knows that. And you both know that is exactly the reason you came to Night City. That's so true. All right, beautiful. So then that gets resolved by just moving it off into the pile here.
Yep, since it's not an obstacle, you keep drawing.
Beautiful. And then a piece of the night. You can tell the moment it hits your hand, something is deeply wrong. It's not like any data deck you've ever seen. What is bound in its circuits and wires? But ours is not to reason why. You are to sell this thing, collect your money, and get out. Easy. Don't lose it, the pawnbroker says with half a smile. Your contact will be waiting by the skull painted on the wall. And then that is a clue. So
It is indeed.
push that over there. And then next up. All right, so sometimes you'll encounter multiple obstacles at once. When you do, set them out in front of you, lay out the plan as usual. When the plan executes against multiple obstacles, you can deal damage to any of them that the plan meets to hit requirements for. Divvy up your damage any way you choose amongst the obstacles the plan hits. Draw the next 2 cards. Oh boy, okay.
Ooh.
That's a tutorial. That's spooky. All right. So the
That's
first,
The press shift to run.
a little bit.
So
you can
one
hide
of the
in
cool
lockers.
things.
Yeah.
One of the cool things about doing a card game in this fashion is rather than front load all the information, right? Like we could teach you all the core gameplay in 10 minutes, and then every time I need to add a rule, I can just have it as a card seated in the deck. So rather than having to like front load everything and give you a big manual that you have to read,
Right.
I can split it up and feed you it like little bit by little bit as we're playing through.
Yeah. No, that is very cool. So, all right. So we got some bouncers that look very squishy indeed. And another way in. So the bouncers, you're at the door, but you're not on the list. This obstacle deals no damage if the plan meets its 2 hit requirements. And then another way in, distract the bouncers while you find another way in. When this card is cleared, discard it and the bouncers, then draw the next card. Okay. So basically, we have to deal 12 damage to that or deal the 2 hit requirements of the bouncers, it seems. In order to, unless I'm misunderstanding that.
No, you're basically understanding it right, but the bouncers aren't going to deal any damage to us if we make the 2 hit requirements. But we still have to find another way in. Basically, one of us is distracting the bouncers, right? We're chatting up the bouncers while the rest of the crew is looking for another way into this club. And unfortunately, we just lost our rocker, and the bouncers require a 3 of a kind charisma or a straight or better. So we'll see how we do about chatting up these bouncers.
Yeah.
And then, of course, another way in takes a pair with stealth, a pair with tech, or a straight or better. So if we can manage a straight, we do hit both of these.
Gotcha.
I mean, I think the door is going to be easy enough to crack.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. If you think the door is going to be easy enough to crack, then I suppose let's be in cracking it.
Ooh, I can help a little bit with this if I need to. Yeah.
I think doors like percussive maintenance myself, but
Doors I love it's the very solo way to open that door, right?
It is. I'm just playing to my strengths.
I mean, sure, we could, bang on the door and all that. Yeah, we could do that, or we could, do something a little bit more quiet about this.
Are you going to? Oh,
wait, I grabbed the wrong card, but we will do this if we can somehow get it straight in the mix.
I think that's
okay.
I think
so
that's
we've got a 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mm.
Does anybody think we're gonna hit? Because I could make us hit, but it's not the card that I
can get us to hit. Yeah.
Okay. Oh no, my other. So then okay. So if you can get us to hit, I'm actually gonna keep doing the thing and duck out of this one for a moment. So it's back to you, leader.
Beautiful. All right. So, like I said, I believe in just shoving down this door.
Nice.
There's our straight.
I love that you were trying to blow it up, and then you were like, "Hey, buddy, Razor Girl, you think you can do this thing?" Just like, my explosives weren't good enough.
Yeah. But yeah, there's our straight. So we are hitting now.
Straight for the
That's
bastards.
awesome.
And...
Nicely done.
Yep.
All right. So how much damage will that be to the door then?
So far, just
so
the
far
one.
we're doing, but we aren't taking any damage, so we're kind of getting this 1 damage for free.
But we also do have +1 to the plan size as well.
We do.
And we have the straight. So
yeah. So now everything's Gucci from here.
Except for the fact that my hand is officially bad.
Oh no, not a bad hand. We don't like that.
Well, it's okay. I can try and break into this place. I've got some good B&E cards, but we'll see how that turns out. Okay.
+1. Okay.
I'm going to do the same thing I did earlier. Flip this. Oh, there's another +1 damage.
Cool. And then...
And we've still got +1 plan size from each of these. The second story work gives us +1 plan size. And backdoor gives us +1 plan size.
So that means
it's back to you.
My card is the last one, right?
Yep, correct.
Okay. So then I am going to put this in because I discarded one of these during our little...
Oh, nice. You got one in the yard. Perfect.
Yeah, so that should be 1... let me see, because that's... Yeah, 1 for the plan, 1 in the discard. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5 damage, I believe, if I'm counting that up right.
Yep, that's exactly what I got. You're doing 5 to this door. We're not taking any damage from the bouncers because we met their 2 hit requirements. So now we just clean up the plan, discard up to 1 card, and we do it all again.
Beautiful. All right. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and...
Here's percussive maintenance. Back to you.
Oh, that's mine. Yeah, duh. I nearly forgot about that one. Okay, and yeah, I think I'll just draw, honestly. Oh, interesting.
I can add a bunch of damage if no one else wants to take the stealthy approach to this.
Is anyone feeling particularly attractive today?
Absolutely not. I am a stinky nomad from the west.
I've got some options that might be helpful.
I mean, but are they attractive options?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Then I'm going to start us off with one of my most attractive options.
Great. Ooh.
Oh, you love to see that.
So choose a player. That player may put a card from their hand.
Okay.
Ooh.
Put me in, coach.
All right, I think we'll bounce back to you then, lead, if you have something.
Yeah, put me in, coach. I've got another attractive option for us here.
So
Oh,
the
boy.
only problem is we can't make a flush now because party favors means no other charisma can be played this round.
Yeah, but that gives us our
we
3 to
do-
hit, so that hits
Right.
us.
So, well, we're not hitting anything yet because we need a 3 of a kind versus the bouncers. And we only have a pair of queens so far.
Oh, did I misunderstand? I thought that just having the suit of 3 charisma cards gave that to us.
No, it's poker hands.
Shoot. Okay.
So, but wildly,
Okay.
and there's a tech symbol in one of these, so we're actually hitting both because we've got a 3 of a kind of charisma, and we have a 3 of a kind of tech, which is also, a pair of tech. So we are hitting both things.
Okay. Good. Then
And
we're
now
solid.
it goes back to you, leader, because you magicked in that second card with 2,600.
I did. And we are not currently plus plan size, right? So I will be the last
Nope,
card.
you're the last card.
Very, very cool. I'm gonna drop in. I think I'm gonna drop in this just to make sure we bust through that door. Big guns seems like a good option.
I do feel like between your percussive maintenance and just shooting the lock on the door, you have done a very solo. Although I like the fact that you got high before you pulled out the gun and shot the door.
That's like every solo in my Cyberpunk campaign. They all do a bump of synth coke
Yeah.
before
Fucking eagle.
every one of them synth coke right out the gate. Awesome. Okay.
Perfect.
But that'll do 7 to the remain. That'll be the remaining 7 I think we needed, right?
Let's see. So we're doing 1, 2, 3 off body electric, 4, 5, 6 off with party favors, 2 more, 8 more. So yeah, we're doing it. I like the fact also solo. You did 100% of that damage. Neither of the rest of us did any damage there. We just hung out. Good job kicking down the door. So yeah, we definitely hit. We obliterate this. You've shot it. You've blown it up. It's done.
And then this.
And the leader token moves, and we'll make this the last round.
All right.
Okay.
And everybody can discard as many cards they want and draw back up to their hand.
I still think. Yeah, like my hands have never felt bad. Like that's the thing. They always look pretty okay.
I appreciate that because like that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
When you get further in, you will start having more opinions on what it. Even when I say it's a bad hand, it's not that it's an unplayable hand. It's just there are awesome hands.
Yeah,
Alright.
fair.
Take the next 3 cards and lay them out in front of you in numerical order. Do not flip them over. These cards represent a scene. In the case of the bar, Colonel Panic. As a group, decide what part of the scene you want to investigate, then flip that card over and follow the instructions on the back. Explore as much as you want, but with any scene, you may have an objective to do here, and there might be consequences for wasting time. If you don't know where to go, you can always look at your clues. I know we're looking for like skull painting on the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, this is unfortunate. This is a tabletop sim bug.
Yeah,
'Cause
but
we-
because if you set that down, what does that not does that not carry over with it? Oh, that's interesting.
No.
Well, so
That's tragic. Oh wait, I have sort of a way to do it.
You have your
Okay,
whole
this is gonna be the world's stupidest way to do it, because if they're on top of stuff, they will actually show the backs. So I'm gonna do it the world's stupidest way. Thank you, Tabletop Sim, for making everything so like the actual experience. Let's go for this. Okay.
that one
Okay.
doesn't show.
No, you need to have it on here.
Yeah.
Are you still seeing a black back for there? Because I'm definitely seeing.
I'm seeing a black back on that one in particular.
Yeah, I'm seeing a black
on
back
that one.
on
Wild.
number 3.
Okay. Wait, I got this. I think.
Yeah, so number 3 in particular is the one that I'm not seeing the back of.
Okay, so number 3, you're not seeing the back of. Try
Right.
this then.
There we go. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Could be worse. So I think.
Right.
Yeah.
There's our skull.
Yeah. So I see 1, 2, and all right. So there's, the skull on the wall. I mean,
So is that
I can see all 3 now. Yeah.
Yeah.
perfect? And for those of you watching at home, this
That's-
does lay out nicely. It's just
Yeah.
very hard to make it lay out nicely
No,
when
It still looks
there's different sized tabletop simulator piles.
not real. It actually does come out pretty okay on the camera here. So,
Awesome.
like Diamond, move your hand off of the deck real quick, just so that way I can. Yeah, because that is like a full. That is a full scene. That's very, very cool. I love that. Yeah. So oh wow. Okay.
I'm glad you guys were paying attention, both to the art and to the clues. So you spotted the skull painted on the wall. Are we going over there to number 3, or are we going elsewhere?
I think because based on what I understood, we can investigate the scene as deeply as we want to, knowing that that's our objective. So
Yep.
does that apply that once we clear that objective, are we unable to investigate the rest of the scene? Is it gonna will cards force us to kind of push the scene forward beyond that if we go for our objective first?
They may.
They may. Okay. Because part of me, I don't really want to mess with the middle here. I kind of want to mess with the left a
Okay.
little bit. Just chat up the bartender. Because that's just courteous, right?
All right, flip it over.
All right. Diamond, you're the leader right now, so press F to flip it. There you go. Oh boy.
All right, so toss it over into current scenario. Toss that over there. All right. Recognized. Hey, it's giant blue hand. 1 second.
Oh, that's me.
If you hold Alt, it'll
Ah.
just blow up. So it's easier to read.
Tommy Newport, someone from your path steps from the bar and wants to chat. You've been recognized. Better bow out quickly. When this obstacle is cleared,
Players do not draw back up to
Players do
max
not.
hand size. Oh, wow. Okay. So when we clear him, we don't draw before the next obstacle. So that means while we're clearing him as an obstacle, we don't have that problem. But the moment he's done, we have to make sure we do that with as big a hand size as we can manage. Am I hearing that right?
Exactly, because you
Oh,
are going to
boy.
be playing shorthanded on the next obstacle.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well,
And we're not going to get there because this is going to end, but I will show you why. Actually, I won't disorganize these things since these the backs are already
yeah, that's
a
true.
little
Yeah.
awkward. But I will show you why after we conclude this.
Okay.
But all right, so let's take on Tommy Newport.
Yeah, let me move this back to scenario.
all right.
Real quick.
Shoot. Okay. Three of a kind. So 3 of a kind, or a pair of charisma
Or
is what I'm
pair
seeing.
with
Yep.
charisma, yeah.
He's pretty easy to hit, but we don't want to waste too many cards on him.
Yeah. I'm not feeling
I mean-
particularly attractive, personally.
I can do a bunch of damage if at least the Netrunner is, techie or loud.
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah, well-
Well, I'll open up with this then.
Okay. Fair
Hand
enough.
size 1.
I'm gonna call in my friends, the Crimson Flags, so they can say, hey, we gotta go do that thing.
Okay, fair enough. And so we're looking for 3 of a kind. I mean, Are we feeling lucky, or are we feeling a little cold? What are we thinking here, as far as the rest of the table is concerned?
No luck in my hand.
No luck there. What about you, James? You feeling lucky?
I could be lucky. I could be lucky. I can also probably get the play back to you if you need to play 2 things.
Because I don't know if I'm lucky enough for that, but I am.
Oh, we're already getting back to you.
Yeah, it is me. So that's where I was like, I'm trying to just determine kind of which route I'm playing.
I meant you're gonna get to play at least 1 more card.
I mean,
Because we got plan size +1, and we're down to 3 people.
I think I'm gonna
Okay.
drop this into play then, and hope that.
Yeah, I can work with this.
Yeah. Okay.
I can work with this if people have some damage.
Okay. I mean, that should hopefully contribute some damage.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot to.
We're doing 5 so far. We only need to do 3 more. And we do have a plan size +1. I'm not really going to be helping. I can make sure we hit.
Diamond, did you... how many cards did you have before you played your last card?
I had 5.
Because we don't draw up again until we clear the obstacle. It's not the end of each hand.
So, yeah, basically you'd normally draw up after the plan resolves, then you check to see if you hit, and then you apply your damage, they hit you back, and then you can discard up to 1 and draw back up. But in this particular case, we have to see also, whether or not
we've cleared him.
We defeated Tommy Newport.
So whichever card you just drew, just put it back on top of your deck, because that's...
Yeah, I think I put it back.
You dropped it off, I think. But yeah.
Yeah, I got
there
it.
you go. Cool.
But yeah, if you can throw in any damage, I can help make us hit.
I don't have damage.
Oh no, solo?
I've got damage. That shouldn't be a problem.
I mean, this might help if we manage to bag it straight.
Oh, okay.
I can make that happen, but I'm not dealing any damage here.
Okay.
But I am getting plan size +1, so we're just going around and around the table.
Yeah. I think because 3 of a kind is true as long as the numbers match, right?
Yes, but we don't have to do 3 of a kind because we can do 3 of a kind or better.
Right.
We've got a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've got a straight, which is better than a 3 of a kind.
We do. Okay, so
we are hitting. We just have to do damage now.
okay. Because we do have a pair already. So I guess because I'm the last card that we're playing, right?
No, we've got plan size +2.
+2.
So
okay.
Netrunner technically has last play.
Okay. Let's see. Where are we at damage wise then already? Because we're at 3, 2.
5.
Yeah, we're at 5.
So we're at 5 so far. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm gonna. I think I've got a good idea then. Okay. So then I'm gonna drop in this since our current plan contains a pair, and so that'll give us some extra damage.
So Netrunner, can you discard a card for the plan or plan size +1?
I could discard a card.
So remember that cards that say discard a card can discard themselves because they come into play and then the discard resolve. So it could discard itself if you want.
So this one, and then pass it on to you.
Yep.
Okay.
That works.
A solo. Show me the violence. I will also discard my card from play.
Oh boy, you want violence? Okay, well.
All we got to do is one more damage. Rat tat. Wow, that's a huge amount of damage now. That's like 3.
Yeah.
Excellent.
The problem is now I'm down to 2 cards, so that's...
Yep, and we don't redraw after this. I'm down to 2 cards as well.
Oh,
but we did 3, 5, 6, 7, 10 damage. So Tommy Newport's out. It says when cleared, set this card aside. Do not discard it. Tommy may come up later. And we clear all of our cards from the plan.
That's mine, that's mine, that's mine.
This one's mine.
And then I think the plan size is... Yeah, there we go. All right, so that was the only one I really wanted to chat up. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's skull time.
Let's do it. Here you go. And normally the leader token would move, but since I know all
Hold on, I think yeah, this is on this is on the rest of the discard stack.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So
you get to flip that one, and since I know this one, and since you didn't get to read a lot, I'm going to let you remain leader, even though you're technically right, because we fought Tommy Newport, because we chatted with Tommy Newport, and we overcame an obstacle, the leader token would normally move. But yeah, go for it. We've met our contact.
okay.
A dark corner, a whispered conversation. You found your fence. As a group, decide how to approach him. It might be a trap. Go in bold. Make him reconsider. Calm. If this is a fight, it's one of those. Whoever draws their gun first loses. Once you've decided, discard all cards in this scene and draw the next card.
I think going bold, make him reconsider.
Bold.
We've already ripped through a ton of this guy's friends. Like, if he doesn't see the sense in dealing with us openly and honestly, that's on him at that point, and we'll flatline him anyway.
I'm glad that you are RPing the solo. I like this.
Well, just wondering if the wreckage has something to do with this guy. Like, where... Maybe. But...
So, in the interest of time, because I know you both have to go.
Yeah.
No, this particular one, usually the puzzles will be relatively clear. A lot of cases, the dialogue choices are more like, what would I actually do in this instance in Night City? And so it's kind of what you know about what's going on at the moment. So, are we going in bold, or are we going in calm?
I mean, personally, I would elect calm, and if they decide to do something stupid, then we do something about it.
I mean, I'll flatten
him. Well, I am abstaining from this one. I'm going to make you guys have to do the tiebreaker here.
I mean, I'm good with calm. I am good with calm. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I am good with calm.
Are you the hoe?
I am good with calm until he isn't, and then I'm not either. So it's really go in prepared and then just go bold and loud.
So
all right, do we want to go in calm?
Yeah.
Flip it.
Calm. Flip it. Oh, okay, so discard the next card without looking at it.
Discard next card without looking at it. Okay.
Beautiful.
Done. So now you get to draw the following one.
Flip.
Slide into booth. Hands where he can see them. He seems released. He shows you the cash. A briefcase with more money than you've ever seen. Slide the data deck over to him. He pushes the cash your way. He lost all interest in it. All he cares about is the box in front of him. You turn to go and he grasps your wrists. Where's the key? Oh no. The pawnbroker said you'd deliver the key. His fingers twitch. He's thinking about reaching for a gun while he's taped that I make sure you tape below the table. We'll get you the key, you say. Trying to be cool.
Like the runners in the vids.
He smiles. It's in a heavily guarded warehouse by the docks. Oh my god.
All right, and that is normally where the demo ends. We can set this aside, but now you've gotten to see, right, like you can see how the obstacles work. You can see a little bit of how exploration works, a little bit of how dialogue choices work. I will show you, the funny thing is the next thing that you're going to, oh my God, this bug. Well, this one that's faced up on the top will work as well. So the next thing you're going to face has a condition. If this obstacle is not cleared in one round, flip it. Much harder to clear that obstacle in one round now that we spent time talking to Tommy and all only have 2 cards in our hands.
Right.
So, that's the risk you run talking to Tommy. The only thing we didn't really do is... if we had finished out the scenario, you would have pulled a card that basically told you, open upgrade pack 1. And it would have a bunch of cards in it that you can buy. How you buy stuff is you'll see these yellow pips at the top. Over the course of an adventure, depending on what you do and the choices you make and stuff, you'll get eddies. And at the end of each scenario, you'll get one of these upgrade packs where you can spend your eddies. Everybody gets 1 eddy per eddy that we found. So like if we found 3 eddies over the course of this, each of us would get 3 to spend, and each yellow pip costs 1. And so, you'll get to take cards, add them to your deck. There are some new card types that you'll see, permanents that represent contacts and equipment and stuff that you'll always have available to you. And, and lastly, some cards are locked unless you do specific things. Because we ran into Tommy Newport, someone could pick up Tommy Newport. But if we hadn't actually gone there, we wouldn't have met Tommy Newport, and you couldn't get him from this upgrade pack. So that is sort of how upgrading works and long-term progression. And then, when we go into the next scenario, you'll have your deck with whatever upgrades that you've chosen.
So is that little key on Tommy Newport, is that like indicative of that lock, basically? And that's
I didn't show you it because it's on the it is going to actually work over. I was assuming that was just going to be black when I flipped it over. But yes, you'll get these rules cards at the end of scenario 1 that tell you how to do upgrades. One of the things it'll tell you is that key is the lock symbol, and when you're told to open an upgrade pack, it will also tell you what conditions you had to have gotten.
Interesting.
Okay.
No, that's very cool. I dig that. I dig that a lot.
The only other thing that we didn't really show you is, so on this card, to the victor, it says, you're through the first set of firewalls. There's something here. Information, revelation, hints of some strange off-the-book biz in Playland by the Sea. Eddie, place this card in a persistent memory slot in the box, then discard the next card. So what that means is this is something that you get for doing a hack. It's a puzzle. If you get the puzzle right, you get this card. There's a slot in the box, like the physical box the game comes in, that's labeled persistent memory. You put this in here. In a later scenario, a card may say, if you have to the victor in your persistent memory, do X, otherwise do Y. Which is how we are able to tie your choices together through scenarios, right? So there may be a choice that you make in this scenario or in another scenario that puts something in your persistent memory, and 3 or 4 scenarios from then, that choice may come up, right? What decision you made there may have impacts later on.
That's very cool. Okay.
But thank you both for playing. Yeah, that was the demo.
Thank you so
do you have
much
any
for
questions?
having us.
Anything you want to ask?
And I guess thanks for sharing your game with us as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, I
look forward to this.
So this is just kind of the first part of the scenario that will be in the main box then? Is that our understanding?
Yep, this is the very first part. You guys only got to play the first part of the first scenario. There will be 4 scenarios in the box.
Wow.
For you to, make your way through.
Sounds like a blast.
I can't wait to play this. Yeah, I'm genuinely excited to get my hands on the physical cards and actually start playing this around a table with friends. This is going to be a great time. No, thank you so much, James. This is incredibly
a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me on the show. It was a ton of fun playing with you both. The questions were awesome. So yeah, and if there's anything else that you want to know or your fans want to know, feel free to hit me up. You guys have my contact, and I'm happy to answer anything.
Speaking of which, in case anybody's looking for you, where can they get a hold of you at?
The best place to get a hold of me is actually on our company Discord. So if you look for the Night Crew Games Discord, or if you go to our Kickstarter and look at any of the updates, I post it there a lot. But we've got an active Discord community for this, and I'm on there all the time, and that's probably the best place to find me.
Cool. Well,
Awesome.
James, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate you making the time out of your very busy schedule to do that, and hopefully we will be talking again when this gets a little bit closer to full release.
And hopefully we'll see you at Gen Con as well.
Yes, 100%.
Yes! Come up and say hi. It would be a blast.
We will.
We will. I'll be there. I'll be there running the Artel game room, so I will be around.
Perfect.
Yep. Well, anyways.
All right. See you both.
That's going to be it for our show today, guys. Thank you so much. As always, we hope you all have a wonderful morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Stay healthy, stay safe. Until next time, peace.
Bye-bye.